thing. Go over here, start the recording. And okay, so that seems to be working. Go over here. And oh god. Internet, why do you do this to me? Go to my channel.
Okay, I'm just opening the docket.
Gotcha. Alright. Okay, cool. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
So I will do the obligatory intro that I guess I should probably do. Alright, everybody who is listening to this and or watching the live stream that nobody is watching, welcome back to the revival of the Londo's Outpost podcast, or if we decide to eventually rename it, whatever it is. Today I'm joined by Patrick1969, as always, and a new member, Hey It's K, over on YouTube as well.
Hey.
Gonna talk about a bunch of stuff, but I'll let Patrick and Kay kind of introduce themselves a little bit.
Oh, who's going first?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's...
Mine's usually the same. Just a drunken ramble, and it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what gives the podcast character, though.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so everyone.
There you go. There's my intro.
Yeah, there we go. All right. What about you, Kay?
Well, hey, it's Kay. Still new on YouTube, and I'm more active on Facebook. So hey, it's Kay. I make jokes. I collect RD figures, and started working on kits very recently. So I'm still on the learning process of it. So me and Cody here conveniently met on my group on Facebook, which was the Robot Damashii collector community, and I realized his last name was very similar to the YouTube channel I saw, and that's how I got here.
It's a really amusing thing. I've never had anyone actually realize, hey, that's Thespicer, because no one watches my stuff. So I was like, oh my god, people know who I am?
It's funny. It's more of is this well, when I saw your account on Facebook, I was like, is it Thespicer that I know? The one that I compete with, or one of the people I compete with contests on YouTube? Because I know you've participated on certain contests, like Joshua Gundam's contest. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I think that's him. So that's why I had to ask.
Yeah. That was a cool experience. Actually, I think he put up another contest not too long ago. I meant to enter in, and I just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. What was the prize this time?
Oh, I don't even remember.
It's I know it's some army men stuff. That's one, and then the other one is a custom painted MSIA that he's gonna do, and then the other one was a bootleg copy of Gundam X, the Gundam X series.
That's right.
It. Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Cool. So, I thought what we'd start out with, now that we've got all that out of the way, was just kind of, if you've bought anything or built anything recently that you wanted to talk about, now's the time to do it. I know the Alex is probably going to be a hot button issue, so...
I saw Patrick's video about the Alex Gundam.
My very shoddy made video that I kind of rushed. I feel really bad about it.
I was kind of surprised when I watched it that it wasn't just this is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Where's the armor?
Yeah, I mean that was my first reaction to it. But just looking at it, it's fine. It is what it is, and that's becoming a very famous phrase for me.
I honestly think, the Chobam armor is, I guess, an iconic accessory, but at the same time, if you have the fixed figuration Alex Gundam where it had the Chobam armor on it, I appreciate the Alex more without the armor, because he looks much more lively with the colors. Color-wise, he looks more lively than wearing the Chobam armor.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, but if they're trying to go for this whole gimmick of battle damage parts and whatnot, how awesome would it have been to include armor pieces?
That's true.
and battle damage and whatnot. I'll shell out another $10-15 for stuff like that. Then if the package is big, then and I see where my money is going, then yeah, obviously I'm going to spend the cash. But I mean, I can't say I was disappointed with the figure. It was nice. I love the figure, and
I think it's a pretty good figure.
Yeah. I'm mostly just more excited for the GM and the Zaku.
Yeah, I think that I saw the photo review of the Zaku 2 FZ type, and it looks way better than the Alex, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been waiting for years to have an actual figure of that thing.
Yeah, I thought that was a real weird decision of hey, here's these really gimmicky battle damaged parts, but here's not the main accessory everyone expects.
Right. We're gonna melt the shit out of you guys.
Well, they were always leaning towards the whole idea of scene reenactment and stuff like that. Yeah. Starting with this whole anime abbreviation for the robot Damashii or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was only a matter of time before they started really, drilling it into our heads with, hey, we want you to reenact scenes, and here are the parts to do so.
Yeah. Something else I find super weird. This is kind of unrelated, but as I was going through to do some of the stuff, get some of the talking points and stuff together, I noticed there's a lot of these wheel marking Damashis coming out that are basically the same thing with the decals.
Yeah.
And I'm just what? Yeah. This is what the third, fourth Sinanju release we're getting. What? Why?
Yeah. And I don't know. I find those things weird because the decal lapse looks weird.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know.
It would make more sense on a
signature releases.
Yeah, but it doesn't really add anything extra. Visually, it's kind of cool looking, but it matches weird with how it's designed and painted. I don't really know what the difference is. I mean, it's not a drastically different look than the master grade or the real grade, but
I haven't really looked at it. Is there a height difference or something like that? Or?
No. Basically, it's the same mold, just with decals on it. Well, pre-painted decals on it.
Oh, okay. So it's for lazy people who don't want to put the decals on themselves. Okay.
Right.
It's amazing.
So,
yeah.
So in a way, for those people who doesn't have the time to do decal laps and do additional details, then that would benefit them. But then if you are fully aware of, or if you're, how do you say that? If you know how to detail your figures or your kits, then if you just buy the specific decals needed to add on to the figure, then I think that would look better than what Damashii Nations is giving us.
I think they were on the right track with giving us the little sticker sheets.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? We got it with the GM a lot, where we had little sticker variations of serial numbers and little
put the
bullet
different.
Which I'm assuming we're gonna get with the next GM coming out. But...
Possibly.
Hopefully. But yeah, that's just the weirdest thing. I was looking through it and I'm why? I can get okay, yeah, there's people like you said who don't want to take the time and put on decals and stuff like that, but another $60 for the third version of the Sinanju? No, get out of my face.
Now, does that come with that little armor that it fits inside, or is it just...
Oh no, that's just by itself. The Neo Zeong battle set is 17,000 yen, so that's what, $160-ish? Somewhere in there?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And it's not even the full thing, is it? I think it's just the upper portion.
Yeah, it's just the upper portion, and that's probably without the figure too.
Yeah.
And it's not even...
It's insane. But yeah, so I know Patrick, you picked up the Alex. Kay, did you pick up anything?
Not yet, but I'll be working on the Damashii the robot Damashii Alex in a few weeks. One of the one of my friends on the Robot Damashii group is sending me his Alex to work on, so I'll be adding additional details to it. Because there's a lot of things missing on that thing. Like, you know how the orange parts are missing black paint apps, and then the Alex decal isn't on the shield. So minor things like that, if you really love the unit, will bug you a lot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird thing of like they're going for this. Hey, as close to the anime version as possible, and we're gonna put some of the details in the decal on, but not all of it.
Well, again, it's just all to recreate that one scene.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's just recreating that whole scene.
It's not like a weird line. It's just kind of confusing why they have those. But yeah, anything else you guys have picked up in the last couple of weeks that you wanted to talk about?
Well, Patrick could go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, yeah, of course, I've picked up all the SH Figure Arts Avengers. So we're waiting on those. I think this month is Captain America and Spider-Man, so that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got Star-Lord and Doctor Strange this month. And I still haven't put together the videos I've shot for Doctor Strange because I've been working and too lazy and lots of stuff. But yeah, that video is gonna probably come out soon.
Cool.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean,
not
a lot of great figures.
Yeah, so far it's been like,
Yep.
I have to say on that Captain America for Infinity War, SH Figure Arts, it looks weird.
Yeah. You know, there are people. I've seen a few people get a little upset that SH Figure Arts, they're not releasing all the information on the figures. Like they're doing it little by little, even up into the point to where it's release date. So they just like released a photo of Captain America with an actual weapon.
Yeah,
right. And they didn't show the shield too.
Yeah, and yeah, everybody's asking like, well, where's his shields, stuff like that. I've seen people comment saying that it's kind of stupid to hold out on that, especially if you're looking to pre-order and you're like, I don't see a lot of stuff with this figure that I like, and then later on it sells out, and then later on photos come that make the figure more interesting and want you to, that you want to grab.
Yeah.
Well, you can't now because it's sold out.
That's the worst one they could have done it with too. Like Star-Lord and Doctor Strange, I think minor changes, but they're pretty similar to their last release.
Yeah, they're just repaints.
This cap is, his face looks weird, and it's pretty much
weird.
Yeah, just like the digital print doesn't look right for some reason. I don't know what it is, but
it's weird how it's inconsistent. Like some of the faceplates that they release are like really good, but then sometimes it's like what happened. Like Thor is like a good example of that.
Yeah.
Or no, wait a sec. It's Winter Soldier.
That's
really weird.
That's horrible.
Right?
He
looks
face
was like.
My biggest problem, like, because I know he has a weird face in general, but his hair is like kind of, off to the side, and it's kind of like what a girl would do. And I get it, that's cool. I don't exactly remember him having that kind of, his hair off to the side like that in the movie, but again, the phrase is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will still buy it regardless.
Yeah.
Dang it. No, Steam, stop it.
About it, the face is a little bit off. It's still a lot better than Marvel Legend figures.
True.
In terms of like articulation.
Yeah. You know what I've been noticing though, the whole head is really, really glossy.
Yeah.
Understanding, like the photos came off like the head was glossy.
Yeah, it looks.
I'm hoping that's not the end result.
Yeah, hopefully it looks different when it comes out, because the rest of the figure looks cool. It's just that head looks awful.
Mm. Sometimes it changes once the figure is out.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the
I'm a little
case.
disappointed. I'm a little disappointed right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been able. There's nothing to rant about with figures. Figures have been pretty in the middle, neutral lately.
Yeah.
Nothing's been amazing, and
yeah.
nothing's been overly sucky to where it's like, I'm gonna throw these figures in the microwave or
So far, I'm liking. Well, I'm planning on getting about maybe 4 items, I guess.
Yeah.
The SH Figure Arts Jiraiya figure. I saw the reviews of it, and it looks pretty good. And then the 2 that I'm getting next is more of like Gunpla. So I got 2 P Bandai stuff. The HGUC Woundworth from Advance of Zeta. So I pre-ordered that. I also ordered the Ifrit Not. Ifrit Not. It's from what's that called? Oh, from that game, Battlefield Record. So I'm excited for those 2. And then as for Robot Damashii, I'm not much of a fan of the anime roster or the anime line that they've been aggressively releasing. So I'm eyeing on the Musha Gundam, the Metal Robot Spirits Musha Gundam.
Yeah, that thing's been cool.
Yeah, that one is interesting.
I was kind of surprised when I saw that on the list. I was like, oh, they're actually going to do that. All right, cool. Let's do it. Cool.
I hope it's just not as disappointing as the Night Gundam.
As the what Gundam?
As the Night Gundam that they just recently released back in November. That one was like super disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks silly.
It looks good though, but it has those like small issues that bugs you.
I took a quick glance and I was over it. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I'll take your word for it.
I liked it. I mean, I still liked it, but it has issues on the sword and on the manipulators. So the gripping hand, the gripping hand pops out super fast or super quick. So, and then it's just on a ball joint, so he can't really do much poses with the sword because it's just on a standard ball joint. So he can't really like, because normally you have a ball hinge on the joints or on the wrists, and it doesn't have any. So it makes the sword poses awkward in a way, and then it pops off.
Yeah, Musha does look good though, at least from the pictures.
Yeah, it does look. I still like.
Yeah. As for me, I have not picked anything up. I've finished a couple of kits, but I am the lame one out here. But
well, you and me both. I haven't bought anything recent.
I don't even pre-order anything.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered stuff, but that's it. Like previous months, I've never really bought anything.
But that'll take us into the stupid long list of news I decided to pile together, which is really mostly model kits, and most of them I don't have much to say on, so this should go fast. One thing I'm excited about, and well, do you want to say something, Patrick?
No, I was just like, say go. Yeah, shoot him at me.
Cool.
Are you able to like share your screen, that way people can also see?
Yeah, give me a second.
What we're gonna talk about, right?
How did I do this? Google Hangouts, why will you be the end of me? How did I do this last time? Oh, share screen. There we go, okay. There we go. So, the high-grade Leo is probably like the most exciting release that I can think of recently. Way cheaper than the Damashii. I'm fine with building it. It's less than $10, so it's super easy to army build this, and I'm super excited about it.
It's already out, and people have been like posting it.
Yeah, from the reviews and stuff I've seen, it looks real good, even like up against Damashii stuff. So maybe
I'm gonna look it up on my phone right now.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, it's a cheaper alternative because the difference is just very minimal.
Yeah, you can tell a little bit. I think I did see a picture somewhere of a guy who had the Damashii and had the high grade built next to each other, and you could kind of tell that if you really just put a matte top coat on the high grade and maybe panel it a little bit, it looks pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys have the Leos?
Well, I don't, but we can. I think I can share a picture. I'm not sure how to share a picture in Google Hangouts.
No, I found it. I mean, it looks nice and everything. Let's see, who's the price going for it? Yeah, like under $12.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good. That's pretty good buy. My whole thing is like
having the mood to build it is like
yeah, having the mood to build it, and then it's the little annoyances with model kits that bug me because I don't glue stuff down. I don't, I don't go overboard with putting stuff or anything on. I build it and it's done.
Yeah.
So switching out, hands or hands coming apart because you're switching out weapons and stuff like that. For some reason, that really bugs me, and it shouldn't. It's just like a really minor annoyance. But the point I'm trying to get to is I'd rather just pay a couple more bucks just to get something that's a solid figure. The Leo was a solid figure. It was awesome. The sucky part was buying the expansion pack that they brought out, having that be $20 or something, around $20-25, especially for like the special colored Leos, the purple and the blue.
Yeah,
that was a crappy part. But I'd rather have like a more sturdy figure than a model kit.
I think it's gonna be depending on the preference too. Like, do you want to go with the more affordable one, or do you want to go with quality and sturdiness?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there are a few reviews.
I guess the cool thing is too, you can paint it any color you want.
Yeah, that's one thing. I think for me, it's more of like, besides the building part, I think the building part is, I guess, fun and all if you're building it for the first time. But if you're gonna build the same thing like twice or like 5 times, that's gonna burn you out. It gets tiring if you're building the same kit like twice or thrice. I tried it and it wasn't really fun anymore.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion.
No, it does get tedious. I mean, especially like before I had stopped building, I was building a couple of the Grazes from Iron Blooded Orphans, and they're mostly across all the variants identical. So,
right, I built the Grays, and then I built Ryuseigo Grays, the pink one, and I was like, I just built this one, and it's just a different color. So I was losing the mood to finish it because I built it before.
Yeah, no, and I mean they're really cool once they're done. It's just that build is gonna be like mind-numbing after a while. And that was something I'd seen on the reviews for the Leo that are already out, was that since they made it real cheap and super simple to build, like the main torso joint and I think the shoulders are a little touchy, so they do fall apart. Not necessarily easily, but they do fall apart. So that's something that kind of blows. But going from that into potentially a less finicky, potentially more finicky thing, is the real grade tall geese. If I can find a picture here, I have to look it up. Which looks super good in all the reviews I've seen. Everyone has had a pretty solid version of it, so it doesn't feel really finicky like real grades can. Nothing falls off of it really easy. So that's pretty cool. It'd be cool if we could get some re-releases of the Damashii wing stuff. That'd be cool, but I don't know we'll never get that. It'd be great, but I mean, it would just be nice to be able to get a chance to be like, hey, let me get the version 1 Death Scythe and not have to pay stupid amounts of money for it. But yeah, super good looking. Definitely gonna have to pick that up, and I usually hate real grades, so excited about that. I think Patrick dropped. I think his computer had shut off, so let me. Yeah, so I think it's restarting, so he should be back in a little bit, but he's not gonna have a lot to say on most of these model kits anyway. So we'll just kind of try to smash through these real quick. So Wing, that was pretty much the only thing I saw coming out or that has come out recently, kit-wise. But really solid releases, so good on you, Bandai. The UC's got some really cool, really weird stuff coming out, so that's exciting.
Yep.
Getting that Master Grade Jagan. Yeah.
I think the Master Grade Jagan is a good choice for a Master Grade, because the high grade ones, though, the 17 types of Jagan variants. So a lot of them are like P Bandai stuff. So I feel like they're gonna do the same thing. So they're gonna do like maybe about 17 variants of the Jagan.
Oh,
since
absolutely.
It's a very like, I'm pretty sure I'm already seeing it coming.
Oh yeah. They planned this out. They're like, all right, we're gonna get some good P Bandai stuff out of this.
Right, because it has like so much variants that they can do with that frame.
Yeah. It does look really good. I'm actually kind of excited about that. I don't know that I'll pick it up just because space restraints, but it looks good. So if I do pick up a Master Grade, it might be that one. The base jabber was kind of a like out of nowhere thing, but I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm excited for the next one that we're gonna talk about. I've been wanting that for so long.
That real grade Sazabi is looking good.
The real grade Sazabi, yeah, it's looking really good. It's like I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Sazabi conversion kit, the kit that was out several years back. So it's almost looking like the same thing. So this is gonna be my first real grade that I'll be picking up, because so far I've never really liked the real grade line because it's just not hitting me yet. I mean, but I can see why people like it. So now the real grade Sazabi caught my attention, and I'm planning on getting that. It's gonna be released on August. Pretty expensive too for a high grade.
Yeah,
it's more expensive than the usual real. I mean, the high grade, the HGUC Sazabi is like bigger than most high grade kits, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, no, that real grade Sazabi looks like it's going to be in scale the way it needs to be.
Yeah,
but it looks super good. Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm slowly coming back around to the real grade line, because I built the Exia and I built the red frame, really solid. Enjoyed them. They weren't too finicky. The Exia was a little finicky, but yeah. Then I built the Destiny and the Ale Strike, and I hate both of those, which is infuriating.
I heard the Exia was one of like the best real grades out there because it's very stable, along with the Gundam Mark II, and the 00 Riser and the 00 Quanta. So those are like one of the few real grade kits that's really good.
Yeah, and luckily, I mean, I could see the backpack and the fin funnels on the real grade Sazabi potentially being a little finicky, but everything else really doesn't seem like it's too out of place. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be really messed up or not work well, so.
Yeah, Patrick disappeared.
Yeah, he should be back.
There we go.
There we go. Yay.
Welcome back, sir.
We were just talking about the real grade Sazabi.
Yeah.
Phones are useful. But yeah, real grade Sazabi looking really good, so I'm really excited about that. Real grades coming in strong. High grade Unicorn Unit 3 Destroy Mode. That's cool, whatever.
Whatever.
At this point, I mean, the Phoenix is kind of cool looking, I'm not going to lie, but
they're gonna do it with like unicorn stuff.
Yeah, it's like, hey, stop giving it. I know it's coming out in that new series or whatever, but it's gonna be the same shitty fake gold chrome that doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing with just different accessory and different color.
Yeah. The GM Guard Custom from Origins, it's getting a high grade. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Everything from Origins seems to look pretty awesome. I always want to get them, but I'm lazy.
So yeah, I think since we're getting old, finding the time to like
I remember
more stuff than they usually do.
The only time I tried to get in on the Gunpla World Cup thing, they had like the first, or they were touring around the first production models of the high grade Sharzaku 2, and it looked phenomenal. Since then, this has been years ago, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick it up, it's gonna be great, and I still have yet to pick one up. Looks cool, but it's just not something that's gonna happen. That's super weird. I can't find a picture of it. Anyway, so after that we get the Cabaldi B, going back through Zeta, it seems like, and the
that one looks interesting.
Yeah, the Cabaldi B, it's something I'm probably not going to pick up, but you know, if I'm out on a whim, I might decide, you know, okay, a grunt suit.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's not something I was holding my breath for, but it is pretty cool. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick. And like I said, the Bjarlent looks alright. It looks like the Bjarlent. Then the Moon Gundam. This is the one that's kind of like out of left field for me. I didn't know this thing existed.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's very recent because they announced the manga, I think, last year. So it's something super new. So not a lot of people are aware of that.
Yeah. It definitely took me by surprise. It looks cool. Actually, I think I've still got that one pulled up.
It's interesting how it looks like the FB, right? But then it has the Sazabi beam shot rifle, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird combination of things. Like, it looks cool, and I might look into it. That big backpack is just throwing me off, though. I think it looks dumb.
Was it the red stuff that you're seeing in the back?
Yeah. I think those are supposed to be funnels or something, but... Yeah,
it's like... It's in a way, but it's blue. That's the info that I got.
Yeah. It just looks kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. I mean, the kit itself looks good, just that backpack's throwing me off. Let's see, what else? We've got its counterpart in the manga or the novel or whatever it is. The Vargil, I think?
Vargil, yeah.
Which effectively looks the same, but with like a Z.
It's interesting. It caught my attention.
Yeah. But, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look, you know, phenomenal. But, you know, it's as Patrick says, it is what it is. The one I'm probably the most excited... The one I'm probably most excited, at least high grade wise, on this list is the high grade Sananju Stein. Really weird that this is getting a high grade release, but I'm not gonna turn it down. And then the the Master Grade F91. It looks cool, and I know people are gonna be into it. I know I'm probably not going to pick it up, so I'm not really concerned about it.
I'm more of like a 6-inch guy. That's what she said, but, you know, just a scale preference. It's a scale preference. I like the 5-inch ones. Like 144 robot Damashii scale. Anything like bigger than that, no matter like say how good looking the kid is, like
Yeah. And there's a bunch of build fighter kits. The only thing I'm really excited about on this list is the Leo variant for that. It comes with like 4 different heads, and I'm really excited to get at least a couple of them because I want to make them like commander units because they have different heads. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
think they're good base kits too. Like how I think last year they released the Jim from the Build Fighter series.
Yeah.
And those have been really popular base kits to use. So I feel like the HG Leo NPD will be the same thing.
Yeah. I've kind of kept up with the show. It's not impressive by any means, but if it keeps getting us some decently cool kits, I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's the main point of the show.
Yeah. The only other thing on that list, the stupid ship from Gundam 00. Such a dumb name. I cannot pronounce it. I'm not going to try. It's got an option part set just because I guess it's used for one of the mobile suits. And if we get option part sets for ships to replace the whatever line the ships used to be, I'm cool with that. I like ships. They're cool.
Horrible.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
How do you say the name then?
I think it's Ptolemaeus or something.
Yeah, it's like Ptolemaeus or something.
Yeah, Ptolemaeus.
There we go. Okay, I will let other people say it for me. It's not going to come up that often in conversation. Side note, I didn't put this on the list because why would I? But there's that stupid. The mom from the first Build Fighters is like got a ship custom now. What the hell is that?
Yeah, fan service.
Bandai, I know you like putting Gunpla stuff on weird Gunpla girls, but stop it.
They're trying to copy Frame Arms girls. That's how I'm seeing it. They're trying to compete with that line too.
Yeah, all right, guys, listen, it's important.
Because the Frame Arm girls are really popular and they're selling really well.
All right, guys, we got to get in on this market. It's important. Start throwing random shit at characters.
Girls and robots.
Who wouldn't like it? So, P Bandai is the last main section of kits on this list, and starting off, we've got the Master Grade Gelgoog, for Gato, the blue and green one, cool, I guess. That once again, most Master Grades aren't gonna be something I'm gonna pick up. Don't have the space for them, so it's not really worth it. The Master Grade Avalanche Exia Dash looks kind of cool, but once again,
yeah, I find it's not on the list, but the Master Grade, what was it? GM Dominance was interesting, and the what was it? The other one, Gundam Stormbreaker. So it's also another Master Grade that they're planning on releasing, and those two look interesting. But I'm just not interested with Master Grades.
Oh yeah,
as
yeah,
much
yeah.
as like other people.
The GM Dominance looks kind of like that Pale Rider thing that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Stormbreaker looks really cool though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get the appeal behind Master Grades, and by all means they're good. I just don't have the space, therefore have no interest. But they look cool. Yeah.
They look cool.
Oh, damn it. It would be super helpful if I could type right now, so I could get a look of... Oh, okay, so I'm not going to be able to find it. Whatever. Not a big deal. Then we have the GM... Sniper Custom High Grade, the High Grade Effete, and the Master Grade Hazel option parts. That's cool. Once again, not super interested. But the Damashii stuff, which is a much shorter list than I wish it was. So, the Alex came out. We've got the Zaku 2 FZ coming out. Looks really cool. The option part set's really going to be cool.
The Metal Robot Damashii Lancelot Albion just came out too and looks really good.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, man, I won't pick it up because it's super expensive, but it looks super cool.
Yeah, it looks super good. Like it's giving me the same impression as how they did the Metal Robot Damashii Strike Freedom. It looks completely different than the old robot Damashii figure. So it's giving me the same vibe. So
Yeah.
the new Lancelot Albion figure looks really good.
Yeah, it looks killer. It reminds me kind of the old composite Kai that came out.
I still
when
like
they
that
showed
one
them.
too.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
cool. I
that
liked all
one.
the intricate detailing, but yeah, it looks like another really good robot Damashii for Code Geass, which I'm excited. Please don't let that die. I need more of those in my life. And they do have a couple of grunts coming from that too. But yeah, so the Zakuto Kai, really excited. Looks really cool. Let me find the picture. Oh, there we go. The Cold District GM, really cool. If I can find that.
That one looks really cool too.
Yeah. Have you guys seen anything that had like there's any effect parts or anything with it? 'Cause I don't see anything.
For
Seen anything.
the Zakuto Kai or the
Uh,
FZ
the-
type,
The GM.
The GM.
oh the GM, and no, it just has the rifle and the beam sabers. That's about it.
It's probably gonna come with a sticker sheet for decals or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Interesting. I guess not having the Hygok or whatever was, I can't even remember the beginning of 0080.
Can't wait for that one though.
Yeah.
The Hygog and the Camphor. It's
Yeah.
been so long.
Woo!
A lot of people have been waiting.
Yeah.
So those will be really cool. Looking forward to that. The Metal Zeta plus C1, sure, that's cool.
I
Once
would get
again-
the C1 once they release the Emerald colors. I would definitely get it.
Not bad, but it's another one of those things. It's like I don't really care enough for that specific suit to pay that much for it. It's cool though. An odd choice for a metal one, but I guess it is a cost signature, so whatever.
I think it's more of like the way I'm seeing it is that they're just lining up the roster because we have the Mark V and then the Marking Plus versions for the Mark V came out. Then you have the two X's, the X's and the S Gundam came out, and then the full armor ZZ Gundam cost signature came out. So now they're just releasing every Sentinel figure that's in the novel
Yeah.
as a cast signature release. So I wouldn't. It's not gonna shock me if they just out of nowhere release the Zeku figure that they revealed the prototype a couple of years back. So most likely we'll get it this year.
I can see that. And then we've got the real marking Banshee and Sananju and the stupid Neo Zeon thing. Cool ideas, I guess, but once again, just not something I'm super into.
It's
at
kind of
that
like
point,
go ahead.
I was gonna say at that point I would just get one of the kits and just do it myself. But,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Or, I mean,
It's cheaper too.
yeah, that's the thing though. Is like the Neo Zeong is not even that much cheaper than just buying the normal Neo Zeong. It's like ugh, and they're fucking massive.
I think it's a preference too, because the Neo Zeon robot Damashii figure reminds me of, like, say, the high-grade Dendrobium and the fixed figuration Dendrobium. Like, there's a compact version of the Dendrobium that the fixed figuration released. So it's kind of leaning towards the same idea.
Yeah, gives you part of it. The anime Gian, cool. Actually, doesn't look awful. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the Gian's design, but
I like the high grade better. The HG Revive better, proportion wise. But I'm
it
pretty
does
sure
have the
people
cool
will
little
like that
lightning
one.
effect, though. So I guess
Yeah.
I'll give them that one. Char's Gelgoog, cool.
I'm
but-
liking that one.
Yeah. It doesn't really seem to have any effect parts or battle damage parts either. Not a huge deal. But
It has that thing where it looks like he's spinning the Naginata.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He has an effect part for it.
I did not see that picture, but that's cool. That's definitely a good thing to add with him. Let's see. They cover the Neo Zeon. Or Zeon. We've got the 4 different releases of the Dom or the Rick Dom with 1 to 4 balls.
That is
Basically.
crazy, right? I've never seen him do that.
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
Like, let's not release them separately. Let's put them in a pack together.
Right.
And
And then
multiples.
after all that is done, they're gonna do like just the ball. You know, they're gonna release the ball as a set,
Yeah.
minus the DOMs.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with how they released the gun tanks, right?
Yeah.
I'm
We
pretty
still
sure they're
haven't gotten
leading.
that yet.
It's gonna be like the same idea on how they're gonna release it.
You know, after
Probably.
watching reviews on the gun tank, it's not something I would pay X amount of dollars as an exclusive or special. It looked very, very plain and ordinary.
Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures of it now because that was the next thing on the list, and even like the core fighter looks kind of shitty.
Yeah.
I guess the plus side of it is that it comes with that mecha hanger, but other than that, it's like it's cool. It's a gun tank.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have the Gundam and the gun cannon. Might as well complete the trio.
Did you see that when they first announced those hangar stages? Like a couple weeks later, they started throwing them in with your order of any of the 1 Year War robot Damashis. Like if you ordered even some of the older already released figures like a Goof or a Zaku 2, you'll get a free stage, display. They were throwing those in there. Usually when I see that, that means that there was no high demand for it. That means they needed to get rid of them somehow to justify it or something like that. So very bad sign. Very bad sign.
That's not good.
No.
That's never a good thing to see. And I mean, they were cool looking, but yeah, it's just like that thing of, is it that cool?
I think they overshot it. Like they probably made way too much, and then they were like, "We're not going to sell this at all." So maybe they unloaded like a quarter or half or something like that. I don't know. But they were throwing them in with orders for free. It was funny. I never got one.
Oh, sad. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I was looking through this list here, see what else is on it. Yeah, so I mean, that really, outside of, like I said, the Code Geass stuff for Damashii and the new Darling the Franks thing, which it's cool to see another mech show get something from Damashii, but that was a weird one to pick because they're not bad designs, but they're not like the traditional kind of the war style Gundams thing. It's a really weird thing.
Yeah, I think they're just taking advantage of the show getting really popular so far.
Yeah, probably. That's probably mainly what it is. Okay, so that's pretty much all the releases. Is there anything I missed that you guys want to talk about?
So 2 new figures from the Robot Damashii line have been announced. So the first one was Johnny Raiden's Gelgoog getting released and then there's another Zaku variant from the anime line that they're gonna release too. I'm just not too familiar with it, but I'm kind of excited that Johnny Raiden now is getting he's gonna get a release now.
When they announced this?
Just a couple of hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the Robot Damashii group. Someone posted a picture of it, and it looks interesting.
Let me see if I can get a picture pulled up real quick.
Yeah, you should see it. It's interesting.
See, I gotta join this group now.
Yeah. Cody, you should add Patrick here. That way, you guys are all here. So Meads is here, Joshua Gundam is here, and you and Patrick was gonna be here. Anthony's here too, so
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Let me see.
Oh, there's a questionnaire.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Let me see if I can move this over here. Okay.
Yeah, the questions is just to avoid bots because I try and filter those out. I want to make sure there's no bots coming in.
Yeah. That's a really interesting choice for them to go with Johnny Wright and Gelgood.
I know, that was
really
like,
good.
Yeah, it's very unexpected. It looks good. I kind of want one.
Yeah. The Zaku, it looks just like the camouflage version. Has a lot of other accessories, but it looks good too.
Yeah.
All right, finish my little question.
Let me go and check and see. 1 second.
Yeah. While you guys are doing that, since we're
I'll be
done with
right
the
there.
releases, like I said, unless there's something else, but that new UC Gundam show, NT or narrative or whatever the hell it's supposed to be called, is coming out, or not coming out, but announced. And I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it looks cool, but I'm very confused, like how the Sinanju Stein's in it, and it's after Unicorn, and
Yeah.
the Phoenix is there, and it's not the main Gundam. There's another Gundam, and some of the characters look kind of weird. And I don't think it's gonna be bad, but I don't know that I'm super hyped for it.
What I find interesting is that Thunderbolt has been ongoing for like 2 years now, but we still haven't gotten any RD figures for it.
Yeah, you would
Especially
think,
the Act guys. I love the Act guys in the show, but for some reason we're not getting any of the Thunderbolt guys.
yeah, you would think that we would have gotten at least, you know, like some of the slight variations of. I mean, I guess all of them are slightly different enough that, you know, it's not just like an easy, you know, recast, but maybe. There's those things the Ad Guys fight that are pretty much just GM's and Zaku's kit bash. Those would be kind of an easy release. And you could just make that a cheap army builder and people would buy it. But, yeah, Thunderbolt, really good. Really weird we haven't gotten any of those. The kits were really cool. I mean, some of them were a little finicky, but so they have some desire to have shields all over the fucking place.
Yeah. I just love the Act guys. Those are super cool.
Yeah, they had some cool variants. I did like those.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gundam narrative seems kind of weird, but whatever. It's all right. I'll still watch it. And I'll watch
I would
anything
watch
there.
this instead of the new Build Fighter series.
Oh hell yeah!
I'd watch anything instead of that horror series.
The only thing I wouldn't watch is G-Reco. Let's be real here. I will not watch that.
I've tried watching it and I don't know what was going on.
It's confusing and the designs are just awful looking, in my opinion.
I can see that.
Like
It's just weird, but
it bums me out too because I think like one of the lead designers on a lot of like not just the mech but the characters did a lot with Eureka 7, and I love Eureka 7,
right.
but it's just it does not move over well, and it just looks bad. That is probably the only, like, that and G Savior are the only two things I think I would probably not watch in comparison to the Build Fighters.
What's interesting is that the mecha designer of G-Reco is the same guy who designed some units in Iron Blooded Orphans, and he's also the same guy who designed the units in Moon Gundam, which is the two kits that we're getting, which is the Vargil and the Moon Gundam. So the designs are like different from each other, but you know it's the same person who's doing it.
Yeah, I would not have expected that. Like you said, the designs are just drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was pretty much really the last of any kind of the news thing. I know Patrick had some things he had wanted to talk about. But... Still there, Patrick? Oh.
I think he's on mute.
Oh, he might have muted himself. Let me see. Let me pull the call back up. Oh yeah, he muted himself. He's probably doing something. I'm sure he'll come back in a minute. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, is there anything that we haven't covered that you wanted to talk about, Kai?
Nothing much. I'm kind of interested that we have this one topic about the state of the hobby.
That was one of the things Patrick had wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I think he'll have some good things to say. Overall, I guess just kind of get into it a little bit. None of this was like thought out either. He just kind of was like, "Hey, we should talk about this." I was like, "All right." It is a little. It's a weird two-sided thing of, being someone who does collect Damashii as well as kits. It's hard to be really bummed out about not necessarily the lack of Damashii coming out, but it just seems like there's not near as much as like when we were getting stuff from Wing and Seed. It seemed like there was so much more. And none of the designs are bad, but up until really the Zaku 2, none of like the earlier anime stuff really grabbed me. Which is real weird because I'm going back and rewatching OG 0079 Gundam right now. And it's finally like I didn't get all the way through it the first time I tried to watch it just because I cannot stand like the old animation.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate it for what it was back in the day, but now it's like, oh my god. And yeah, I'm almost done with it. I'm 3 episodes from the end, but it's just like, I get that you're wanting to go for anime accuracy, but a lot of these kits or a lot of these designs made in the 70s are not proportional. Like, they look weird, not because they meant to, just because that's what happened.
Remember, those custom kits that people do to, like, say, the RX-78, the goofy-looking ones from some scenes on the show, and then they made the kit exactly like that. So that one is, like, very accurate.
Yeah, no, they went a little crazy, but they did that. But there's some customizers out there just crazy. Like, some people who get these ideas, it's like, I appreciate that you did it, because now I don't have to do it, but why?
Yeah.
But, the anime line, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and I get that it's cool that they're going for, hey, recreate these scenes, you get some cool effect parts and stuff, but up until like the Alex and the Zaku 2FC, none of it's really grabbed me, so I've kind of felt a slump.
I think right now, Robot Damashii wise, I guess in a way, the way I'm seeing it, it's divided into two. The people, the people who's appreciating it, because there's a good number of people who's appreciating the anime roster, and then there's these people who are waiting for just a regular Gundam or a regular Gundam release. It doesn't have to be the anime line. They're waiting for that because they just can't appreciate the proportions of the anime variants. And I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't think this was ever going to be a perfect thing with Damashii. Like, I remember a long time ago someone said that, the people running the company made a statement saying they were going to release figures that we have never seen before, meaning, mainly those army grunt suits that we've never seen in, MSIA or anything like that. And we never really got that. They fell short of finishing off the 00 line. Like, we never got a Dynamis. We never got,
I know, right?
all that stuff. And then now we're starting to see them branch out a little bit, even though it's just a Zaku and a GM. The fact that they're variants and that they're normal releases, it's very, very good sign in my eyes. I was kind of thinking that the line was dying down. Like, the anime figures from 79 was like their last grasp of trying to hold on to fans and stuff like that. But I mean, they could win people back, and I mean, they could win everybody back if they made that Kemper.
Yep. I have the Xenography one. I mean, it's a good figure, but it's an outdated figure. I mean, it looks nice, but the articulation is just super limited. So right now, I have this dilemma where should I go for the high grade? I mean, the high grade, the HC cam is bad despite the age. I mean, it has really good articulation despite the age. Should I do that, or should I wait for Tamashii Nations to release the camphor and see how good it is, and then make my decision from there. Because the high grade is always there. I mean, you can grab it in any site you go to. It's always there.
And that's something, I mean, I kind of almost felt like, not necessarily, I didn't see it coming necessarily, but like looking back, it almost kind of makes sense the direction they went of, back when Damashii was up kind of where they were like, hey, here's a whole line of figures from Wing. They're going to come out over like the next 6 months or something, but here's all of them. They look cool. And then we, got like the first 3 of Age, then that died because who the hell wanted those? Then they got the one Barbados and nothing else from Iron Blooded Orphans, and they're like, well,
the G stuff was just a standalone thing too.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to make other versions of this because people don't buy them, and it kind of makes sense because Age and G-Reco were really disappointing for most people, and Iron Blooded Orphans had some cool different designs, but they were really more played kind of to the model kit crowd, especially having that grimy, kind of dirty, ground level feel. And then you had Build Fighters, which was literally just a toy commercial for model kits. Yeah. So it's like, well, we can't make any Robot Damashii for that because why would we? So it makes sense for them to go back like this because they can't keep re-releasing unicorn shit. It just, I mean, they can, they're doing it, but people are eventually going to stop buying it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the same exact mold.
Yeah, it's a weird like, hey, we need money, please give it to us. But yeah, it's a weird thing that I guess not necessarily the state of the hobby, but the state of the industry itself seems not necessarily in a bad place, just in a weird place.
I was surprised. Like a lot of people like the anime line. I mean, I guess it's working that people are liking it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a really
some
nice
people,
chunk of nostalgia.
But it's also, in a way, I'm surprised. Like some people who didn't really watch the very first series are still liking the anime lineup. That's what's interesting to me that I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, it's a huge disparity looking between. I mean, it's getting closer now with the Alex and the GM and the FC.
Yeah.
But it's a super weird thing to look at, like the Gian and then look at like the Banshee Nor, and it's like, oh, there's a huge disparity in design here.
Mm-hmm. Even the Alex has that weird looking head. Like I feel like the head is a little bit big.
Yeah,
I felt like the V-pin was a little too long.
Mm-hmm. I think it makes sense. Maybe if you put on the armors, it's gonna look a little bit okay. But looking at it as it is, I think the head is a little bit bigger than what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it looks good. It's a good figure. It's just those minor issues.
It gives me hope. I mean, we can kind of guess from here they'll go to 0083 and then to Zeta.
Can't wait for that.
They're probably already kind of dabbling in Zeta a little bit, but I mean, I really don't know what else we would get from Zeta. I mean, there's a bunch of weird grunt suits, but maybe a Hyzak.
I'm actually anticipating the O because the way they're releasing it, we had the Zeta and then the Rick Diaz, the Hyakushiki, the Kublai, the DJ, and then
Didn't we have a signature not too long ago that was kind of resembling the O, like a big massive?
Was it the Gamalk?
I can't remember.
Because I know they had the Barzum. They had the Gamalk is from the ZZ series or the Double Zeta series. So I'm kind of excited for the O every time I think about it because we're that close to getting it.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to find it and I'm just not seeing anything. But yeah, no, I mean it's not like a bad. I mean, Damashii are still coming out, so it's cool. It's good. But I feel like I really don't know where else.
How do you guys feel about the Pacific Rim figures?
Suck.
I mean, it's getting interesting reactions. Like a lot of people are saying it feels cheap, but then at that price point, it's not a bad figure. Looking at it, on a different perspective.
Obsidian Fury was probably my favorite out of that line. It was plain, but it was just so badass. Nice design and everything. Second would obviously be the Gypsy Avenger. It had really cool weapons, but just at this point, it's a Damashii. However way you look at it, it's from their line or from their company. You'd expect them to have more accessories.
Yeah, because they already set up that bar. They already set that expectation. Kind of like when SH Figuarts already has this impression that it's gonna have lots of points of articulation, and then you get your figure, and then it's like very disappointing. It's like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah, and collectors don't mind spending extra cash if it's cool accessories. If it makes the figure unique and interesting, you just have to have the right accessories. Whether it be what NECA did. Was it NECA who did the original line for Pacific?
Yeah, I think so.
I think NECA and Diamond Select did some.
Yeah, they had amazing figures. They had, and I really wish I grabbed some of those before they went off the shelves and Toys R Us.
The kaijus are interesting. The NECA figures that. NECA released those kaiju figures, and I find those really interesting.
Yeah, I really wish I grabbed some of those too. I mean, comparing what Bandai came out with.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's cool, I guess. I wish I didn't pay that much for it, but it's massive.
I don't know what they thought about, why they came up with that too. I mean, it would be more interesting if they did like an SH Monster Art, kaiju figures. That would like blow my mind.
Yeah. I mean, they've already got a lot of them.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, marketing-wise, I think probably the reason why these figures had fans kind of in the middle is because this is a movie that was going to be marketed both to Americans and people overseas. So, and the majority of what the movie company wanted this movie to pull in was kids.
Yeah, that's how I see it too.
Yeah, little kids, they're going to want the toys. Their parents aren't going to want to shell out X amount of dollars. They're going to want something minimum 20, maybe a little bit over. On top of that, they're not going to want little parts and stuff like that for the kids to swallow. So I mean, at one point, I can't fault Bandai for not releasing a better figure, but at the same time, it's like
they have that standard.
Yeah, you already set the bar with a lot of your figures. You might as well keep going.
See, imagine if they start doing like a side Transformer lineup where they Damashii is like consistently doing Transformer figures, because eventually they're gonna do that, seeing that they've done Pacific Rim.
That would be cool.
Who has the rights to the Transformers? Is it Bandai?
I'm not sure.
The toy license?
Yeah, because I can't think of
toy license. That's a good question. I'll look it up.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, no, I mean they're okay. Like, by no means are they what I wouldn't expect a Damashii to have that little accessory count and feel. Not necessarily feel cheap. They just feel weird. Like there's articulation in places that kind of seems pointless. Like the Gypsy Avenger, the thigh connection thing is super loose and goes all over the place, and it's weird.
It's Hasbro. It's Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Yeah, but they've been knocking it out of the park with some of their more adult collector figures. I mean, they're pricey. They're very pricey, but they look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not huge into Transformers. Couldn't even say I'm a fan. But I gotta appreciate those figures. They look really good.
This is just super random because I'm browsing some stuff here. So they're releasing another Perfect Cell figure. SH Figure Arts.
I'm kind of okay with that because it's a pain in the ass to find.
It's gonna be retailing for $60 as a event exclusive figure.
Is it painted differently?
Yeah, it's painted differently. It has blue joints. Blue joints. The shading of the green is different, and then they're also releasing Super Saiyan God Vegito Blue, something like that. Yeah, Vegito Blue.
Ooh.
And another Broly figure, and these three are event exclusive figures.
Yeah, no thanks.
Something random. Yeah. Sorry to break the topic.
That is something.
Checking my sources.
I'm kind of I'm just curious to see how it happens. They've got that new Dragon Ball Heroes show, which is effectively build fighters for Dragon Ball. And I'm kind of excited because it's all right, we'll get some stupid fucking action figures out of it, and I love that. But then it's do I really want them?
See, I tried speaking of that, I was watching this YouTube guy explaining, how this show or Dragon Ball Heroes timeline works, and it confused the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's like a fucking card game is what it's in. That's what it is in the show. Yeah. And in the show they're like,
it is.
Oh, we're time patrollers, so we can cross universes and stuff too. So they're like, hey, here's Super Saiyan 4 time patroller Goku fighting Super Saiyan God Blue Goku. And it's well, that's cool looking in animation, but am I gonna get a Super Saiyan 4 Goku with this weird fucking costume? I would buy it because it looks kind of cool, but I was just interested to see if Bandai really capitalizes on that or not. I can't see them not, because as we can see, they're fine with releasing 3 or 4 Sananjus with minimal difference. So maybe? I mean, it's not like their Dragon Ball figures are that much different as far as them just doing repaints for events, or hey, we made a minor change. Here you go. I have to say the version 2 stuff looks pretty cool. So I mean, or the version 2 actual articulation in the torso is nice. So going forward, that'll be good. And this is kind of random, but have you guys picked up any of the Dragon Stars figures, like the cheap, shitty $20 ones?
Oh no, I keep my collection just mainly focused on Gundams, but I do have some SH Figure Arts Naruto figures, but I've seen Anthony Customs review on the Trunks figure. Mm-hmm. He mentioned all the good stuff about it for a cheap figure.
Yeah, I've kind of been surprised. I picked up several of them, and they've actually gotten fairly good. They're kind of at the same level Figure Arts was 3-ish years ago. Not quite as good, but the Trunks is okay. The new Super Future Trunks. His face is super flat and his head articulation's awful, but it's okay. But their current wave with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, the blue hair looks really I think it actually looks better than the Figure Arts in my opinion. Proportionally, muscle tone, even paint, it just looks better. He doesn't look near scrawny. So I'm kind of excited that Bandai's hey, here's a not super shitty $20 figure that if you don't want to spend $60 to $70 on a Goku Black because you're super in and out of Super, but it's you can
there's
spend
always
$20
that
to be fine.
one toy line, right? There's always that one toy line that understands customers. Okay, we're gonna release you a good figure, and we're not gonna do any exclusives.
Yeah, no, that I think they did Dragon Ball Fighter Z exclusives, but they were just repaints of Goku and Vegeta, and they looked kind of meh. So I was like, that's fine. Just don't lock any of the characters that most people are like, oh shit, I gotta get that. But yeah, no, I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Patrick, was there anything on like the state of the hobby or anything that you had wanted to talk about?
I got some like random ideas.
Go for it.
Not to throw out my own business, but like over the past couple of weeks, I've been like jotting down stuff that I was probably going to have my own podcast for. So, Codeman, I know I sent you like random ass topics. We're not. We shouldn't talk about those because they're just totally not figure related. But no, I do have some. So, and these are just really weird. So, how do you guys feel about people customizing figures? Do you feel like it hurts a line?
It's actually a really interesting topic.
Yeah. So my origin of this question comes from when I watch people customize figures and say it's a dead line or it's a something expensive or an exclusive, and they customize it. Do you guys feel like, hey, that takes that out of the hands of people who you might have potentially been able to sell that to?
That's a good question. I think there's probably valid points back and forth, but I definitely know I'm really apprehensive, like, to even really touch up or customize some of like the figure arts or the Damashii. Not necessarily because I feel bad for other people, but just like I don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah, we all know model kits is one thing. Model kits, they're never going to stop, running. In fact, I saw that they were running some of the old Gundam Wing model kits back from early 2000s.
I like how we're discussing this because every now and then I customize Gundam figures. So I'd like to show you guys some of the things I worked on.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So the first one I worked on was I guess a repaint project. So I was very hesitant about it too because I'm gonna be fucking messing with an SEM EX figure, but the first one I made was the I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but this is a Char Aznable custom SEM EX R782, and it turned out pretty well, and I learned a lot when this was, I guess, successful. Another thing that I worked on is the SEM EX gym figure with some fixed figuration robot Damashii fixed figuration and some robot Damashii parts.
Whoa.
So it has a custom color scheme, and it's using a shield from the fixed figuration RX-786, the heavy Gundam's Gatling gun or frame launcher, and then it's using the robot Damashii Victory Gundam V Gundam's backpack here.
Wow.
So it really depends on how you're gonna do it. It's very risky because it's hard to replace them.
Yeah.
And I've already messed with a couple of figures. I was working on a custom SCMEX Dom, and I fucking break the shoulder, and it's not something that I can fix. So I had to, like, the only way to do it is to just get another one and then just use the shoulder. So that was a huge bummer, and I feel like I wasted something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way you customize stuff, it's definitely an improvement. I mean, looking at that, holy hell, that looks amazing. But yeah, man, I can't say anything bad about those customs. Those look really good. Yeah, I'm mostly thinking about like MSIA type stuff. That line's been dead for God, how many years?
Yeah, it's been gone for a while. Yeah,
it's been gone for a while. It ran for like about 10 years.
Yeah. So my whole idea or my thinking behind this is, you know, the more people use these figures for custom, the more and more the pool of figures for collectors who in the future want to buy these things have a hard time finding them. I know back in the day when I was selling figures, it's no secret. The key to doing that was buying lots and then, you know, keeping what you needed for your collection and then selling stuff you didn't need. I would buy and sell at pretty low prices. But the more and more figures are getting out of, you know, circulation, the more expensive these figures are starting to become. So that's where I kind of see where the fault in at least customizing lesser expensive figures, like the soft plastic type figures.
Joshua Gundam was like doing that a lot.
Yeah, he has been. I've noticed he's doing it. There's another guy on eBay who I don't know if it's him, but someone has the same setup as Joshua.
I think if it's he keeps changing. He has an eBay account, Joshua Gundam, and back then his eBay tag was Gundams Are Us.
Yeah.
And then now he changed it, and then you're gonna notice it's him because it's the way he takes the photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're already getting that vibe that it's him, then you know it's him.
I mean, I want to be like the nice person and not be like, hey, are you having two accounts for some reason, like some odd reason. But yeah, I just noticed that, you know, you're using up a lot of parts for your own custom figure. You're killing and gouging out the guts from, I don't know, 9 figures just to create your one.
Yeah.
And then you use those spare parts to do whatever kind of little figure bash. And now those parts are out of the possible hands.
I can see that.
People who need those parts.
Yeah.
I do know that like a large part of his collection that he kept originally for that intent he did sell off.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I talked to him not too long ago about another project I was working on, and he had this whole idea, and he explained it to me and everything. But, with the MSIA line being dead and it's not being produced, and there's a limited number now, it's a weird thing of if there's not an alternative, then I could see it becoming problematic in the future.
Yeah.
But a lot of the mainline figures people are going to want, there's probably an extended MSIA, a Damashii, an SCM Pro.
The version 2s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially the version 2s, because I don't think they made too many of those, or at least too many of them hit the American shelves.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird situation just because of how the market has grown and how Bandai has kind of went, okay, well, we're going to focus on more of adult collectors as opposed to kind of kids' toys in a way. But yeah, no, at a certain point I could see it becoming problematic, but I just don't see that there's a huge call for, I want a version 2 GM when if you pay about the same price, you get the Damashii and.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it is a weird thing though. Like I can definitely see, and not to kind of be a shitty person about this, but
how many kids growing up over here in the States knew about a GM version 2? They mostly knew about G Gundam, Wing, and then the original series and whatever spawned from that.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go, looking for a version 2 Wing Gundam, and it's gonna be hard for them to find, like at least a complete one that's taken apart and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then at the same time though, like I've had the version 2, I would rather have the Damashii.
Well, yeah.
And its price point's really not that far.
See, that's the thing, price points are what the customers make. They're not. They're not always what, unless it's like something like a custom, like Kai makes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which, of course, yeah, you're going to set those prices yourself because that's you doing work.
Right.
It's an open market. So if you set something out there on eBay as an open auction and X amount of people bid, and they set it to a price of like say $20,
Hmm.
you know, that's just how much you're going to get for it.
Yeah.
But it's all about how long you're willing to wait in order to get the price you want. If you're looking for a quick turnaround, then that's how you do it. But if you're really dead set on at least getting $10 more for something that really just costs around 20, then might be a while.
Yeah. And I think it's a weird discrepancy of looking and seeing, well, in this case at least, of people who, I guess there's really no one who makes like custom MSIA anymore.
Other than
besides
Joshua Gundam.
Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua
Yeah.
is like the only one I know.
That's what I'm going through and looking, and I just don't see anyone else, at least on eBay, that has anything.
Because I mean, it's easy to customize them because they're using pretty much the same joint, so you just swap things out and repaint them.
Yeah.
But then Robot Damashii setting the standards up there, and then you look at MSIA, it's just not gonna do it now,
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to customize a figure that's appealing to people now, you have to like make sure the articulation's great. So that's one of the things why the people I know are customizing either SEM EX figures or Robot Damashii figures because they are just good figures to customize. And some of them are bashing these with high grades, which is one of the things I also did recently. Because it gets interesting once it's done. It's just you just use a lot of parts though. That's the annoying part, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're combining Damashiis with high grades.
Yeah. There was a person in our group. His name is Vic. He made a custom Barbatos Lupus Rex using the Robot Damashii Barbatos frame, but then it's using the Lupus Rex's outside pieces, like all the stuff out the on the outer shell is the kit, but then the frame is using the Damashii figure, which was interesting. The one that I recently did was a fixed figuration Shin Musha Gundam. If you guys had those, it has like a really bad articulation, and I wanted my Musha figure to have like decent articulation, so I bashed it with the high grade Jim figure, and it's right here. So it came out decent.
Whoa.
Yeah, it came out nice, and I haven't done a video about it yet. So it's just very time consuming because you're dealing with much more fragile parts, and the room for error is less because you're dealing with figures that's hard to replace because it's pricey.
Yeah.
Whereas to MSIA, they're like what, $10 to $15 for the most part. So if ever you mess up something, you can always replace it easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this is a weird tie-in to it, but a lot of the Legends groups I'm in, there's kind of a reoccurring issue of this where people will take an older Toy Biz Legend or something like that and make a custom out of it, and the custom's kind of shitty. So it's like, well, yeah, that was a waste. Like, that it is better you downgraded it. And, as people make customs and stuff of the newer Legends that Hasbro's making, eventually we might get to that point where, okay, well, they're not going to re-release Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, and, I want a Captain Marvel. It's like, well, sorry.
I'm actually following a good number of people on Instagram who customizes SH Figure Arts figures, and they are, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a while to, like, I had bought 2 Ultimate Gohans at a convention maybe a year ago, and I bought one of them with the intention of making the one-armed Future Gohan, And it took me like 6 months to even get to the point where I was like okay with it. It's like, oh man, I only spent like $30 on it, but I don't want to mess it up.
You got to make that little flap for the sleeve, and you know, make that hair a little shorter.
Yeah, and it's really that thing of, you know, there are a bunch of customizers out there that just do killer jobs, and you're like, man, why couldn't like Bandai get in on that or do something like that, or Hasbro or Mattel or whoever?
Well, you know, Bandai's whole thing with the Gundam builders, that's all based on people customizing. That's kit bashing. That's just, hey, this is your open. You know, we sell these things super cheap. You want to bash stuff? Oh shit!
So this is one of the people I follow, and this is a custom Jiren figure using a Revoltic figure as base.
Oh, nice.
So,
no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, since we're just talking about custom figures.
But yeah, there's what I was gonna say is there's a difference between somebody who does a good job and who's trying to do a good job, and a difference between that person and a person who just grabs some nail polish and then paints on a figure. I don't know how many times I've seen, because I've been on a few.
I've seen those.
Yeah, I've been on a few custom boards, and God knows how many times I've seen somebody take nail polish to a GI Joe just to make a custom Resident Evil, you know, Leon Kennedy or something like that. Just really dirty, horrible job. And then they tried and also sculpt with epoxy sculpt or whatever it was called, and just do another bad job and use Sharpie, and just horrible. Just,
I mean, it's the same thing as in the Gunpla community. You can see badly painted Gundams.
Yeah.
But it's hard for you. It's really difficult for me to, you know, comment that, hey, you just ruined a good kit, because it really depends on the person on how they're gonna receive that feedback. So, because some of them are gonna accept like, hey, okay, is there anything else I can do to improve it, you know? But then a lot of them will take offense to it.
Yeah.
So you're just not. It's just hard. Approaching those people.
No, I totally understand, and I think, you know, it's one of those things is where like we don't want to reward people for doing a bad job. That's the thing. That's just going to make them continue to do a bad job. But what you want to do is give them, you know,
maybe tips, or
good criticism.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, you can do a better job, a more cleaner job if you use this kind of paint or did it like this.
Man, this guy's so good.
Yeah, just I'm not for supporting bad behavior with figures.
I think Cody would like this. Will like this. This is a I guess a custom Gohan figure. Looks really nice.
Oh yeah, I've thought about doing one of those. I had a version 2 Yamcha. I think I still have him, but it's like, do I want to not that I really give a shit about Yamcha, but it's like, it's a pretty nice figure. Do I want to go back and, you know, repaint it and then, you know, do all this other stuff? And I don't know. I keep going. It takes me forever on stuff like this, and stuff like my Damashii is like, oh, but it was kind of expensive. I don't want to mess it up.
I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, the room for error is just super low, especially if your base figure is expensive.
Yeah, you just have to be really good and really careful, and I don't know that I'm the really good part yet, so I'm like,
so far,
hold off.
Based on my experience, I've broken 2 SCMEX Gundam figures, and 1 SCMEX Dom figure. But even if, say, you broke those, you gain experience from it and learn to avoid those mistakes. So that's the good part of it that I can share.
Yeah. It does at least come with something. So
yeah, it's
not a huge loss.
It's still, I guess, rewarding in a way.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually a really interesting question, Patrick. As applause.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have one? Does anybody else have a topic they want to just throw out there?
I'm not sure are you guys active on like Gunpla groups?
I am, but Yeah, I don't think Patrick is.
No.
Because
I mean,
right,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
because right now I'm seeing a trend that I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, where people are getting, I guess, in a way, spoiled with information that's on Facebook, where they ask questions that can easily be, either Googled or just watch YouTube,
Mhm.
but they go to Facebook groups to ask or to get these answers.
Mm.
Like, say, someone, posts a kit that they recently bought and then asks, hey, what's the flaws of this kit? When you can easily watch a review of it on YouTube, and you'll see inputs from the reviewer for that kit.
Oh,
But
you're
so
just
some,
you're talking about like when when viewers ask stupid questions.
yeah. So basically, some people think of it as, people are getting annoyed that it's spoon feeding, and then some of them are saying they're just looking a way to interact with people on social media. So it's kind of broken between those two things.
Uh,
Yeah.
I get that a lot with uh, heights on figures and stuff like
Mm,
that.
mm,
I try and do comparisons as much as possible. Right now, I'm like in the process of like moving between a couple houses
mm,
before I settle down. So all my stuff is packed away. I can't do comparisons, but it's just honestly, you're not gonna find out that the Alex Gundam is X amount larger than your average Damashii.
mm,
It's not like it's 10 feet
mm,
tall or something like that. This is the
mm,
exception. But I do understand those dumb questions, or those easily um, answered questions that just get asked all the time. They are super annoying.
Yeah.
mm,
It's a weird thing, and this is... I can't believe I'm actually getting to talk about this. This is weird. It's a weird thing because, we kind of did the reverse thing of Yukai, of where we both started out on YouTube first and then kind of made a transition onto other platforms.
mm,
And I've done that fairly recently, so it was a weird change as far as what content I wanted to put out, where I would, where I'd make little short reviews for Facebook and then have my normal like 10-minute-ish review on YouTube. And that was pretty much the thing of like, no one on Facebook will watch it because no one on Facebook wants to watch a video. They're there for,
mm,
oh, cool, 2 sentences. That's all I needed. So I kind of just resorted to throwing pictures up there. But yeah, it's a weird difference in platform of you could try to get those people to watch a video, but
mm,
when they go to watch your video, your retention or how much they watch of it's going to be, really spotty because they're like, oh, I just want to know the height, or I just want to know what it looks like out of box. And that was something I thought was weird when I started kind of getting more into Legends figures and stuff, where I was watching a lot of Anthony's Customs and a lot of Shartimus and a couple of other people, and they all would do this thing with the ruler, and I'm like, do people really get that concerned about it? I mean, they're not going to be that out of scale if they are.
right.
And yeah, it struck me as a weird question that I'm sure they just do it now so they don't get the dumb question, but that's,
Like sometimes they type before they think.
Yeah.
Some people just has that preference with height, because I'm also like that. But as long as it's in that range, then I don't have any problems with it. Like, say, with SEM EX figures, they're a little bit smaller than high grades or robot Damashii figures, but they're still, good with each other.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really have to ask questions for it. As long as, like, okay, it's in that scale. Okay, good. All right, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's definitely... You get weird questions on each platform, and yeah, the transition to messing around with Instagram and Facebook was definitely real weird. But luckily I was also getting more into toy photography, so that helped. But yeah, no, I've definitely at least kind of come to the understanding that the same content will not work on each platform just because they're all different groups of people. Regardless whether or not they actually want real answers or they just want someone to do their research for them.
Right.
Let's see. I think I'm the only one who's not thrown anything in.
I had kind of a segue in there.
Oh, okay. Go for it, Patrick.
So, this we all make videos on YouTube. Hold on 1 second.
It's been a while since I last uploaded one.
Yeah, so I was just worried about this weekend. I didn't do any filming, so I was like, oh, shit.
It's more of like finding the mood to do it, because like you have to set it up, you know.
Oh,
Actually, Cody, I was gonna say, I think you were about to say something before I interrupted. I gotta handle something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, no, I did. I was just gonna say I didn't have any topic to throw out, so I feel like the bad host here. But yeah, no, like I this is kind of a weird behind the scenes thing, but yeah, you have to be in a real certain mood to make videos, just because you know, a lot of people don't necessarily think about it, but you know, a lot of the custom work that you do, Kai, you put a lot of work in the custom, but there's also a ton of work thrown into the video as far as preparation, setup, filming, editing. Yeah,
it's the editing that's also like time consuming.
Yeah, and a lot of people, and this is the complaint of every YouTuber ever, just they don't realize it, so they're like, oh hey, you know, where's your video? It's like, I try to be consistent, but I also have a life.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, 3 videos a week is more than I really probably should have.
That's hard. If you're doing it three times a week, and then, you know, you remember that update where YouTube is making changes with their, you know, I guess, small content creators, you know, that threw off some people.
Yeah.
So it's hard staying consistent, but I think if you just do it casually or just do it for fun, you don't have to like treat it as a job. That's how I'm seeing it. So I know I kind of understand that people are excited for your next video if they're like consistently following your content. But then, you know, you just really have to find the mood to do it and kind of make people understand that you're just doing this for fun. You know?
Yeah. And I think that's... I've never really had the issue, so I'm lucky here. But yeah, once you get a couple of people that are like, hey, you know, we really like your content, one of that small group is going to be that person that's like, hey, you're late. Where's your video? And they probably don't mean to come off like, you know, really aggressive or really pushy, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're all like, oh, someone's waiting on our videos. Oh, yeah, there's this extra pressure. But yeah, no, it's exactly that, and I kind of had that epiphany when I started getting back into making videos. Was yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've not reviewed, but there's a lot of stuff I just don't want to, so I'm not going to.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Yeah,
and in my case, I don't like reviewing videos that's already out there. You know.
Yeah, you want to do something different. You want to.
Different. That way, people will see like, oh, okay, this hasn't been reviewed before. I'm gonna watch it. So I like that. So if there's already a review for it, then I'm not gonna upload, you know, the same figure.
Yeah. And I have found that, I mean, I do this regularly, so this isn't like new, but I'll go through, you know, phases where it's like, okay, you know, I really want to make videos, and that'll go for a couple months consistently. Then I'll be like, oh, I really am tired. I don't want to mess with it, but I can type up a blog post, and it's like, oh, I really like this idea, then I'll do that, and then focus more on Instagram, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. You don't want to have that creative burnout. You know, you're supposed to enjoy the thing that you love doing, but if you're doing it like a job, then it's not going to be something that's enjoyable to do.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, I get, you know, well, in my opinion, it's just best if you just do it when you feel like doing it, because if your mood is there, then people will tell by watching your videos that, you know, you're having fun with the video. As to if you're doing it when you don't have the mood to do it, it just looks different.
Yeah, and that's something that I've tried, at least with my blog the last couple of weeks, and eventually I'd like to get back to doing this with videos, is try to do something that is just kind of thought-invoking, like, shameless plug here, but yeah, I went back and only one person called me out on this, so I was really lucky, but I made a blog post saying, you know, with Ready Player One having the Gundam in it, people have been thinking, oh, can we get a live-action one? And I broke down why that's not a good idea. And then I did a separate video saying, well, we could get live-action Gundam in the West. It'd look good, but what story could we use that we can trust Hollywood not to fuck up? And I went with G Gundam because there's effectively no story. So it's like, you don't have anything to fuck up. We're doing good.
But sometimes Japan ruins their own shit, though. Like how Attack on Titan was.
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather see them ruining their own shit than, you know, seeing Hollywood ruin something they did.
Yeah, I'd rather see a live-action Japanese Gundam and be like, I was only marginally disappointed in that than a new, hey, we're bringing Transformers back, but it's Gundam, and be super pissed. It's like
another thing that that I feel like I'm more leaning towards that it's not gonna be impossible, or it's gonna be impossible to do a live action of it. It's because character-wise, there's not a lot of Japanese people in Gundam, like with the characters, you know, like say for 0083, how many Japanese characters was there? It was just Kouraki that's Japanese in there. Yeah. The rest are like, you know, America. I don't know what their heritage is, but you know, there's American. I'm seeing like American names on there, so it's gonna be hard finding the cast that speaks Japanese and English at the same time. That's the reason why Attack on Titan was a mess. Everyone, it was an all Japanese cast, and it looked weird. Whereas in the anime, there's like German name. You see German names on there, and then a couple of Japanese people in the show.
Yeah, so, and they make a big deal out of that at one point of like, hey, there's not a lot of Japanese people. Mikasa's kind of important.
Right. If anything, it was just Mikasa that's Japanese there.
Yeah.
So I think casting problems is one thing.
Yeah, and that's something when I had originally posted about that, someone had brought up was like, casting would be a nightmare. I'm like, yeah.
It is.
But I feel like one of the consensuses, it was really interesting to see, a lot of people thought that 0080 and 0083 would work in a live-action movie setting, regardless whether it was East or West. And I was like, yeah, okay, I could do that. But a lot of people really hammered on more of, screw doing a movie, just throw AMC or HBO a series and, you know, just make it like Game of Thrones where you get one Gundam scene being really badass per season or something, and then, you know, the last season it's like dragons everywhere, in this instance Gundams. But yeah, no, different questions like that, and like it's that weird thing of like how content has evolved, at least like on my channel, of I just got bored doing the same old thing of like, oh, here's a review that I feel obliged to put up. So I tried to do.
I've had this idea too of like doing a segment, but I kind of wanted it to do it with someone because I feel like it'd be interesting if I do it with someone else. So I had this thing about like a Damashii talk where every season, we know how every season we get these prototypes, right? And once those prototypes have been revealed, I wanted to talk about them and see what's your opinion on this. So, but I've never seemed to put that into action because the mood isn't there, and then time, since I have 2 jobs, it's just hard balancing it. So for the most part, like I'd rather rest.
No, I definitely feel that. Like I have this stupid little notes folder in my phone of just like, oh, I got a good idea, I'm gonna put it down. And some of it's like stop motion, and I tried like the beginning of this year to get back into it because it's been a while, and it's that same problem of you've got to have the motivation, and that is way harder being motivated for that than it is just like a normal video.
I commend people on YouTube who makes consistent videos, you know, by themselves. Like Anthony does it by himself.
Yeah. And have an editor or someone.
Yeah, some people have editors, which I guess, that's good. But for people who do everything by themselves, that's like super tough.
Yeah, no, like shout out to him, man. He's consistent. Quality is always good. It's like you can expect the same thing at the same time, and it's great.
Did you know that he's in our group, the Robot Damashii group?
I didn't know that until you'd said that earlier, and I was like, oh shit, he's in here?
Yeah, he's there. Like, we were both the one who talked and decided, hey, let's, create a Robot Damashii group, and he created the group, and then he, assigned me as an admin and get more members to it.
Yeah.
Because there was a previous Robot Damashii group that we were in, and in a way, like the admin, there was a drama that happened, and he got picked on, and I felt bad about it, and I was like, fuck this group, let's do our own. Yeah. So that's pretty much what we did. So he's there, like, his name is Anthony Sun on Facebook, and you're gonna see him there.
Huh.
Every now and
then. Keep an eye out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see. You know how his logo, like his Batman looking picture. Yeah, that's his profile picture.
I feel like now that you say that, I've absolutely seen him like comment or post or something. And I'm just like,
he since he's an admin, he just observes what's going on. Yeah. And then if we talk about rules or guidelines that we need to change, we talk. So, but he's there. We have a couple of people there. I mean, and then Patrick is there. Meads is there too. And then Anthony's there. Yeah.
I haven't talked to Meads in forever. He was on the podcast like a way back. It's been like 2 years since we've done the podcast, so it was a long time.
I went to San Francisco back in November, and I was able to meet him. He's a super nice guy.
Oh, that's super cool. I always thought that would be neat, meeting other people from YouTube. Or Facebook in this instance, or I guess both.
He gave us a little tour in San Francisco for one day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Personalized tour guide. That's awesome. Good old groups.
Anthony's I think planning on moving to Texas too. So.
Oh really? That's cool. I know.
Yeah. He's planning, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going. Last time we talked was about him deciding to move to Texas because it's cheaper in Texas.
Yeah, cost of living is way cheaper here than it is in California.
Yeah, that's what I found out. Like back then, I wanted to move to San Francisco, but then finding out how expensive it is, like, I think I'll stay in Texas.
Yeah. There's just like no, that's it's absurd. Oh, I can't even imagine.
That's why a lot of people from California move to like Austin, because it's somehow like California but cheaper.
Yeah, it's like mini California, but it's not expensive.
Right?
Oh, Austin's crazy. I visited several times. Yeah, it's fun.
But it's getting busier and busier, so you're still not sure. Like, do I want to live in Austin?
No. After the first time I visited, I was like, I will never live in this city. It's just the
it's
roads,
fun to visit,
the
though.
traffic. Yeah, no, I'll go visit. Absolutely, yeah. If they put they were talking about putting a hyperrail from Dallas to Austin. I was like, yeah, I would do that. I would take that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I would never live in that city. It's
by the way, this is just an off-topic thing. I'm checking my sources, and they're announcing some interesting SH Figure Arts figures. Let's see. Let me show you this.
What we got?
Look at this. This is crazy. You seeing this? Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of that somewhere, and I was like, "There's no way that's real."
I was like, "It is." Like,
oh, what?
Oh my god.
Panda's like, we got to use the rights.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's like the first. It's like the Sorcerer's Stone. It's not even like new Harry Potter. It's like we're gonna bring out these figures like 15 years too late.
And then this new Ultraman figure looks really interesting. Ultraman X.
Yeah, I remember when they started releasing the newer design for Ultraman. I was like, that actually looks really good. No, not gonna lie.
This looks badass. I mean, he's like Ultraman with Digimon parts. See that?
Interesting. That seems really like
Kamen
really Rider-esque, but yeah, no, that's really cool. That's something I've always liked the designs of, but I have a hard enough time like finding time to watch some of the stuff. I'm like, oh, I've got to watch that.
Me too. And for me, it's more of like it already transitioned to something I don't like, where it's heavily based on merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like say Kamen Riders back then, had like how many forms? 2 forms,
Yeah.
3 for the most part, and then now they have like 10 forms or something, and it's getting ridiculous. I mean, some people like those, I don't. So that's why I lost interest in watching Super Sentai or Kamen Riders. It's because of that.
Yeah, I like some of the designs are cool. It's just there's so much of it at this point that I'm like, I can't even jump into it. It's just so expansive.
Mm-hmm. Right.
God, Bandai, what do you like? Good on you, I guess, for bringing out Harry Potter figures, but why?
What was it?
The Harry Potter figures.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick's here.
Like, why? It's so weird.
Well, why not?
It's like 15 years later. Like, if it was Fantastic Beasts stuff, I guess. Like, I've not watched it. I probably will eventually, but the OG Harry Potter, it's like...
Okay. Oh, Patrick, did you see... I was showing Cody here that SH Figure Arts are releasing the Harry Potter figures.
Yeah, I know. I actually saw that online. I was like, oh, crap.
Like, out of nowhere.
A big fan, but my whole thing is like, oh, man, those things better look good. Otherwise, they're just going to be a waste of money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Harry Potter fan, then I guess that's something that's going to hype you up.
Yeah.
But then if you're a SH Figure Arts collector, I was like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's a little bit more like silly. You wouldn't expect Harry Potter, but hey, they're at least they're having at least they're keeping themselves busy. I mean, SH Figure Arts, they got a lot of figures coming out from films. So
I just like how they're targeting a lot of customers that has different interests. Because back then they were just so focused on tokusatsu heroes or anime characters, but then they ventured to comic book characters, which became a competition to like Marvel Legends and all that,
Yeah.
I wonder. This is kind of a weird like segue, not segue, but weird comparison. I know Mayfex has been doing a lot of stuff. Like they've got the Kingsman figures coming out sometime this year.
John Wick too. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
They look super cool. Yeah, they look really good. But it's one of those things of like I never expected to get this. I'm super hype.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, quick little side note: have you guys seen the trailer for Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder's new movie?
Destination Wedding.
Destination Wedding.
Yeah. Oh no, not yet.
It is basically John Wick going to a wedding. He is just one tone throughout the whole trailer. Like he's in John Wick character mode, and he's like throwing out jokes and stuff like that. You really should expect him to pull out like a gun or something and just at some point shoot people. But
and he's in the suit the whole time too. It's like
what was that?
John Wick.
What was that remake that they're gonna do? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh,
When I'm seeing the pictures of him and this dude, right, and then he still has the John Wick look with the beard and the long hair, it's like, that's John Wick.
Yeah.
It would be super out of character, but it'd be great if he was just John Wick in that movie too.
Well, for so many years, he's tried to hide his surfer, tone to his voice.
Yeah.
By talking more deep and more articulated with his words, but oh man, you guys should check out that trailer. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited, like, to go see that movie when it comes out.
I saw Deadpool this past Sunday. It was hilarious. I'm not sure if you guys seen it. You guys should. I didn't know. Seen it yet. I didn't know the actor who played Cable was the same guy who played Thanos. My wife had to tell me about it. I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he was like, huh?
No.
Yeah, no, there's a whole thing of him not being on like set for Avengers like a huge portion of the time because he was filming Deadpool too at the same time.
That's interesting.
Yep.
I just found out like when I was watching the movie. But yeah, you guys should watch it, and then if you guys are watching it, I would just say to not wait for any extra scenes by the end of the credits because they're doing it before the ending credits roll. Yeah.
So no more after credit scenes.
Right, because a lot of us, when we were inside the theater, so a lot of people stayed, while the ending credits was rolling, and they didn't show anything, and then all of us were like, "Oh," and then we just all left.
Those are always fun. I used to work in a movie theater, and everybody would always ask me, "Hey, is there a scene after the movie?" For some reason, because Marvel did it, and everybody thinks almost every movie has an after credits scene. So yeah, I would just mess with them and go, "I don't know, you're gonna have to find out." And they would sit through the whole thing,
Dang.
like idiots, instead of just getting on their phone and just checking.
Just
So
Google
yeah,
it.
I do
Realize it.
That's fun.
Good times. Yeah, I'll probably have to see it this week sometime, but
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it more than the first one.
that's what I've heard. Like all of like my friends who live around here have gone to see it, and they're like, "Yeah, no, it's good. We're not going to say anything about it, though." I'm like, "Damn it."
Yeah, because it's more of like if there's like a lot of people on Facebook who just spoils it for you.
Yeah,
And
like,
I don't
I
want
don't
to
want to pull
be.
spoilers. It's just
Yeah,
there's like it's good.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I hate it.
was there something you were gonna say, Patrick, before you went to go do your thing?
Oh yeah. All right, I think we were talking about YouTube stuff. Oh, hold on. I think we were talking about YouTube stuff. Yeah, and I just had a question for you guys. So I don't know how long, Kai, you've been running your channel or anything like that. Me, I've been like off and on for
Been there for like
7
a long
years.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just barely started kind of getting serious about it. And then Cody, you've been what, a couple years now?
I think I'm on like 5 or 6, maybe 7.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, so when you guys run out of ideas for videos, which sometimes happens to me when I don't have, figures to show off or whatever, do you just like post random stuff? And when you do, like, do you think it helps your channel, or does it just make it kind of seem like a little bit boring?
It depends on how people see you or see your channel. Like some people follow you because you have good content, and then there's some people who think hey, this person seems really cool, like I wanted to get to know this person, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like in my case, if there's a trend going on, like say this a couple of years back, there was this thing, a trend on YouTube, like the vlogmas, where days before Christmas you're making a vlog on what you guys are doing, and I tried getting into it, but I wasn't able to be consistent at it. But it's my way of, vlogs is my way of getting to know, or I guess letting people know or get to know me more than just, talking about Gundams, So they get to know you more as a person rather than just you reviewing toys for them. So yeah, that's what I like about vlogging. So I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it like I do, but every time I have the mood to do vlogs, I do it.
No, my wife watches vlogs all the time. It's at this point that I'm completely over everybody else's life, and unless they're showing off a figure or something like that, or talking wrestling or something, I'm just zoned out. I'm completely, no offense to them, it's just my wife has ruined it, having to listen to all these people. I listened to a woman complain about how her husband served her divorce papers, and how he had his mom give it to her. Great, that's such an interesting story.
It's that's the problem with vlogs. Like you want to make sure that the thing that you're going to do is something that's interesting to people.
I think that at that point, it's just like I like hearing about the drama. It's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yep.
It's just reality TV without the TV.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny you guys are saying this because on Netflix I'm watching a Japanese reality TV show that's about nothing. So it's kind of like it's kind of like Big Brother,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it's six
Terrace House, right?
Terrace House. Yes, I love
Yeah,
it.
I've heard of that.
It's about six strangers in one house. There's no elimination or anything like that. You just see them interact with people, and eventually see how it's gonna have. Just you're just gonna see events unfold as the episodes go. But it's about nothing. But then you get hooked to it because people are interacting.
Well, now I
So
know what I want to watch.
yeah, you guys should watch it. There's 3 seasons of it, based in like different locations. I would the
So it's
most
like a Japanese Jersey Shore.
not I guess, but it's
I'm trying to
not
think
as
of.
it's not
There's
as
another
trashy.
show that's really similar to it, and it's pissing me off because I can't remember. But yeah, we have an American equivalent. I just don't remember what it is.
The best way I can describe it is it's kind of like I guess Jersey Shore,
Yeah.
but there's no goal. There's no elimination.
There's 3 seasons. Is it always the same people?
No, here's the cool thing about it. You're gonna see the culture differences of Japan
Oh.
and how America does it. So the show is, since it doesn't have an objective, right?
Yeah.
The housemates has particular goals. Like so, it doesn't matter what goal it is. So like it feels like say one of them, oh I'm gonna pursue this career and I'm gonna leave the house because of this. I finally decided to pursue this. So he leaves the house and then a day later, someone replaces him.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so it goes on for a year,
That's
but
a little
then
different.
it's different. So
Yeah.
if there's a conflict that happened, like say I'm not getting along with you guys, I'm gonna leave, or say I found a career that I'm gonna pursue, I'm gonna leave. So it's mostly goals that they have in mind.
So wait a minute. You're just okay. First of all, Cody, I think you're thinking of the real world because this is
Yeah, that's what I
basically
was thinking.
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It sounds like these people are honestly just living inside a house.
Yeah,
Just to
leaving.
live there.
Yeah, just to
And
live
they're-
there, and then they do their everyday jobs or they go
Yeah.
to school. But it's not as trashy because you're just gonna see the cultural differences there. If they have problems inside the house, they talk it out. If you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Like they're not doing anything, but you get hooked to it.
So it's basically you're watching just it's like
Yeah.
Truman Show. You're just watching
Yeah.
somebody live their life.
Right,
And,
right.
That
But
sounds pretty. I wouldn't mind
it's a
watching somebody
very
eat cereal.
it's a very chill show and it's oddly satisfying to watch them.
Yeah.
I would recommend what was it? Terrace House Aloha State, which is the one that's based in Hawaii. And that's like the third one out of the 4 that they did.
Okay. Well, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think
Yeah.
I think the last what was it? Last Asian themed show I saw on Netflix because they have a lot of them.
Yeah.
It was a Korean pop group sitcom. It was only 1 season. They got like 4 or 5 kids together.
Oh, I
Trying to
think
live in
I
a
saw that.
Yeah, and they have this producer who just came back from hiatus, living in the damn mountains, growing beards, and,
Oh shit.
eating mung beans and whatever, living on his own, coming back to reclaim his pop producer throne. It was the funniest thing ever because it's like it's K-pop but in a sitcom form.
Yeah. So right now I'm watching the new one because it's still recent. Like the new episodes are starting later tonight, so I'm kind of excited to watch it. So yeah, but if you guys want something to start off with that show, I would recommend the third one, which is the Aloha State one.
I don't know. I'll have to check that out.
I was gonna segue another show, but that kind of moves into the topics that I told you about, Cody. But it was just like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I like to go on rants. I like to go on rants a lot, and over the past week, I've just been jotting down stuff that's just been bugging me. So, but have you guys watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
I haven't seen that. I rarely watch TV.
I had to ask my wife what that was, and that was an interesting conversation because I didn't know this was a show.
Yeah, it's like on I forgot what channel it was on, but it's basically how it sounds. It's a like America's Next Top Model mixed with drag racing. So basically, you got these 12, 14 dudes, and they're all competing to be America's #1 drag superstar.
Oh my god!
So this show started off about maybe around 10 years ago or so, maybe less, probably less. But the first couple of seasons were amazing. I was hooked. It's a great show. But as of late, they've just been coming up with more and more seasons, just like America's Next Top Model. How that show used to be is just, one season after the other. So there's no like, they're kind of like scraping the bottom of the barrel with contestants, it seems like. But yeah, it's gone downhill since then, and I'm sorry that you guys haven't seen the show because it's fucking hilarious the way these people, the way these dudes, man, they really get into it. And some of them look amazing, and I've had a few crushes, but it was gonna bring up a thing where this guy, he was roasting another dude for acting stupid, meaning he was just like he was a big dude, and so he would over exaggerate the whole fact that he was heavier and stuff like that. Like he would make fun of himself out loud and stuff like that, which is each to his own. I don't care. But this dude was calling him out on it, saying, you're not really setting a good precedence for this competition. This is America. This is America's Next Top Drag Superstar, and here you are, being gross. So he called her out on it. He called him out on it, and it brought up something that I watched. I think it was on Netflix. This documentary. Okay, and this is like the funniest thing I've ever seen ever, in terms of like watching documentaries, because I'm a huge fan of just watching stuff. So there was this documentary about a gay cruise, and this followed like 3 or 4 guys, and so it's just like a 2 or 3 week long cruise that they're going on. This guy was it was pretty much just nothing but parties and stuff like that. This guy was dancing, and some of these people on there were actually trying to find love connections, like trying to find the person they have a meaningful relationship with. Well, in this whole midst of this party, he was just seeing how openly sexual everybody was and stuff, and he had to like step back and walk away, and he started crying, and I was like, damn, this guy's really upset because he's lonely. And it wasn't because he was lonely. He actually, it was at that point where he like finally started saying that he felt like it was all a joke, like it's a parody. He was saying like how he was ashamed of how people were acting in the gay community. So it was kind of like the same thing that was happening on the drag show, where you had this big guy kind of just wearing really, really short tank tops and like drawing faces on his stomach and just like, making fun of himself. And then you had on the other side these guys dressing up in these elaborate costumes, making their faces up to look like, beauty queens, and, throw some elegance in there. And he was just like, yeah, it's shameful the way they're acting. Like, it's not even like they want to be taken seriously. So yeah, that's my little rant. You guys should definitely check the shows out.
I like how we went from Robot Damashii to RuPaul's Drag Race.
I plan on snipping this portion and then putting it on my channel. So I apologize.
I'll give you the timestamp. It's about 2:10.
Yeah, no, I got a whole mess of others. You know that, Cody. Like,
oh yeah.
Hell, I got a rant on my mom and stuff like that. So.
See, like I said, that's what gives the podcast its character, is the rant about things that are totally unrelated, but still very interesting.
Don't get it started. Don't get it started, because it won't end.
Yeah, no, we'll be here till tomorrow.
Yeah. If we talk about like the small things that piss us off, it's gonna be an interesting podcast.
It's gonna just evolve into man, fuck that guy.
Oh, you know what? Here's something. So, you guys Kingdom Hearts fans at all?
Oh yeah, I am.
So we've waited another thing that's been a long time, 10 years or so, for the third installment, right? Since part 2. In between that, we've had just the remixes and just little prequels and added content. And I've been watching the slow process of them finishing up the third game, and it just looks like it's nothing but, like, of course, the same levels over again, just better graphics and everything. Are you guys seeing it that it's just probably going to be like kind of a letdown after 10 years, or?
I feel like it's going to be it's kind of like Final Fantasy 15. People waited for it. It took about 8 years, 10 years for the development to finish, and then the game came out really nice. So I feel like it's going to be the same thing.
I mean, it's going to be a thing people are going to buy anyway, so I'm not really, too worried about sales numbers or anything like that. But
no, of course, you're going to have those fangirls.
Yeah. Everyone wants to see Sora and Goofy and whoever the fuck else. They're adding new people in this one, right?
Yeah, they're adding the Toy Story world, which is super interesting.
Yeah,
I saw Wreck-It Ralph on there.
Yeah, the Wreck-It Ralph one was super interesting too.
Yeah.
So,
gameplay-wise, though, I just I haven't seen anything too different other than using like absurdly large different weapons, like a mallet and stuff like that.
I think probably there's one of two ways this is going to go, realistically. I think it like Kai said, it's probably going to go the route of 15, where it comes out, it looks pretty good, some little fixes that they'll probably implement over the next year or so, but overall pretty good game. Or it's going to come out and it's going to be like the same but better looking, and just a little bit of extra content peppered in, maybe 20% of the game is new content or something. And then we're gonna get DLC and stuff later down the road potentially.
That's what I'm hoping too, that there's gonna be some DLC content.
Yeah. I mean, it would almost make no sense at this point, especially a game that big. You don't plan on releasing another one in 2 or 3 years. Like you've got to keep it going.
Well, the guy behind it, he was really adamant about the whole. No, we're not gonna. This is back when PS2 was still, the thing. We're not gonna come out with a sequel until the next platform, so we have the opportunity to make, a great game. Then PS3 came out, and he just still sat on it and whatever.
Yeah.
Now PS4's kind of slowly, I think, kind of towards the end.
Yeah.
People are already saying that the next console's coming out, so now he's finally bringing out his game. Yeah. It just looks like a lot of the same stuff, same enemies, that's for sure. Which I don't know where the story can go from here.
Yeah, it's a weird thing of, someone waiting that long because they're like, oh, we've got to wait for it to be as good as it can be or something, if that's the real reason. When you have games like Dark Souls that are like not quite 10, it's not 10 years old, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And with it being up-resed without like a patch, just like the Game of the Year edition, if you upscale that, it looks almost, it's not quite as good as DS3, but it's pretty close. You're like, that game was like early generation PS3 the PS3 could have handled it, and the PS4 sure as shit could. But let's wait for the PS4 Pro or the PS5 or whatever the hell comes next. But yeah, it could go good, but it's hard for that long of everyone's anticipation being just growing over this last decade to really meet all those demands.
Yeah. I think for some at this point, after waiting so long, they've just been like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
Right.
There's no point.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Anything else? Any other ideas? Any talking points we haven't covered that you guys want to talk about?
We segued from Robot Damashii to Netflix.
Yeah, we were talking about Terrace House and RuPaul.
Let's see. We covered movies. We've covered games. We've covered TV.
Yeah. The only thing I do want to mention, I haven't actually. The only other thing I've watched actively recently that I was like, damn, that's actually pretty entertaining, is Agrasuko on Netflix.
Oh, I've been seeing. I'm seeing that every time I turn on Netflix.
Yeah, it's basically a Sanrio character like Hello Kitty working
the one that screams, right?
Yeah. She works a
Angry
dead-end, shitty office job in Japan, and in order to take out all her stress and stuff, she goes to a karaoke bar and sings death metal. Yeah. We're I think we're 3 or 4 episodes, and it's actually really entertaining. The people had recommended, I was like, I don't know if I'll be into it, but it's actually pretty funny, and there's some things that are like, why is this here? But for the most part, it's pretty on point. So
yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is a different take on something I've not seen lately. So, but yeah, so games, movies. Oh, actually, games. Before we get off that, I know I've talked to Kai about it. Patrick, are you going to pick up the new Gundam Breaker or the other battle operation thing whenever it comes out?
It was really funny. I actually looked up, Gundam games. I haven't been gaming too much lately, so I just wanted to see, what there was. And I think the last thing I saw was that they were re-releasing a new version of, what was it called? It was the Gundam game where they all battled each other and all that stuff.
The Versus game? Gundam Versus?
The Dynasty Warriors one?
Yeah, kind of like that.
It's like Gundam Reborn or something like that?
Yeah, it was like that came out, or it was going to come out or something like that. And I think that's the last thing I saw that actually looked interesting. I'm not a big fan of the game style that Gundam Versus had.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
There was one Gundam game that came out not too long ago where I guess not only could you pilot a mobile suit, but you could get on a little scooter. You can get out as a person and stuff like that.
That was for Xbox. I forgot
There's a new one. I don't know when it's coming out or if it's going to be Japan exclusive, but Battle Operations 2 just had its second or closed beta. But it's like that old Xbox game where you'll pilot a GM or a Gundam or a Zaku or whatever, and you contest points or do team deathmatch, but you can get out and you've got your own weapons, so you can shoot a rocket.
Can't you also steal other people's mobile suit or something like that?
Yeah,
I think I saw that one time. Yeah, that game also looked really interesting.
Yeah, that one. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna get a Western release or not, but I've seen a bunch of people here in the West playing the closed beta, so fingers crossed.
I think they're just changing their regions, that way they can play it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
At this point, I would probably do it. I've gone through enough just non-translated games to where I'm like, all right, I will wing it. I will figure it out. It is worth it. The Gundam Breaker games and the Gundam Versus games, I've played a couple of those on the PS3. I haven't picked anything up newer. But those are like the most annoying things to go through if you don't speak Japanese or read it. Because like all the metrics for Gundam Breaker, I have no idea what they say, and I don't want to pull up a web page to be like, okay, what is this? Like, I'll just do it fashion and build a Gundam I actually want. But yeah, no, it would. That's the battle operations, and I'll probably maybe pick up the new Gundam Breaker, but those are probably the two main ones. Outside of Gundam games, is there anything other than like Kingdom Hearts you guys are looking forward to?
Well, the last Gundam game I liked was for the PS3. It was the side stories. That one was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Side stories. Which one was that?
It's the one where it's about the Pixie Gundam, and then you also can play the Blue Destiny story. So it's a Japanese exclusive game.
Oh yeah, I have that. And I never
that
played
one's
it.
cool.
I feel really bad. I got it and I was super excited, and then I just I've never gotten around to actually sitting down and playing it.
That one and Battlefield Record, where it focuses on 0081. So you get to use like the RX-787, which was interesting.
Yeah. No, that's a good one too.
So I like those. I would prefer to play those than the versus games.
Yeah. It would be really cool, like, to get... I think Gundam Unicorn had a game, but...
Yeah, they did, and it was cool too.
It was short though, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
So far, there's no interesting game or Gundam game for the PS4 or Xbox. It's all like fan service stuff.
That sucks.
Yeah.
No, all I do at home is when I do play games. It's usually I'm still on Fallout, so I just create my own little things. I have a dungeon. I created a dungeon.
Oh, that's always fun.
It looks like Silent Hill.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, so it's pretty. I scared my wife. So.
I play a lot of GTA and Tekken every time I play.
I'm that pleb that just occasionally plays PUBG, and that's... I think I played PUBG and I played XCOM in like the last month, and that's it. I'm that guy.
Man, I wish I could... I tried playing PUBG, but my desktop is just low tech, and it's having a hard time loading PUBG. But I enjoy it.
Is such like...
It drives you crazy though. It's like you don't...
It shouldn't run as bad as it does. Like, they fixed a lot of it in like the last couple of updates, but like when I first got it, I should have been able to run it just fine, and it's like 15 to 20 frames a second. I'm like, oh my god, this is not... I can't do it. Get out of here. But I think that's pretty much it as far as games go. Yeah, any other talking points you guys feel like talking, or?
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
I think we've exhausted
Anybody have any announcements? Or anything?
Oh yeah, anyone got any new stuff coming out?
Like videos or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm planning on doing a video of like what kept me busy, because like the last video I did was back in January, so I wanted to show people what are the things that I worked on that kept me busy. That's why, I'm gonna do a compilation video of the kits and figures I did. That's about it. But review wise, I haven't done any. Just not in the mood to do any figure reviews.
I'm always in that mood.
Yeah. I'm waiting for maybe a good figure that I'm interested on. That way, I can review it.
What about you, Patrick? You got anything coming out?
Yeah, actually. Well, besides the Doctor Strange review, which is probably way past or way old, anyways. But so I've given it some thought, I'm gonna try and take another crack at that little documentary that I spoke about a long time ago.
Oh, dude, I commented on that video.
Yeah,
It's like, dude,
long
I've
time
been
ago.
wanting to see that video about MSI. Was that the one
Yeah,
that you're pertaining to? Yeah, like
yeah,
that was interesting, and I was like waiting for you to, do the video. It's like, what's going on? I wonder what's keeping it that long, but you know.
yeah. No, I made the trailer, and I was like, I wonder if people are gonna really think, you know, if this is cool or not. And then I was
Mhm.
like, man, this is actually gonna take some studying
Yeah, a
and
lot.
help from a few people.
Mhm.
And for I had a couple people help me. Cody was one of them. Joshua Gundam was the other.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of other people that said they wanted to contribute
Mhm.
small things here and there, some
Mhm.
animation, some
Mhm.
their own commentary and stuff. But it's hard to get a hold of people on YouTube
Yeah.
and have them
Yeah.
commit. So then I just dropped it.
I'm not that well versed too with MSIA. I'm well versed with like fixed figuration and SEM EX stuff, but MSIA was just something that I guess back then I discovered it late. Like people were already buying it, and then I learned about it pretty late.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna take another crack at that. I think I'm actually gonna write some sort of script. So I do voiceover while I add in little snippets of little things, and I don't know what the format's gonna be. Maybe I'm gonna break it down, maybe like 5-minute videos or however long, in parts. But I am very much going to try and get that out within the year, because it's just it's something I want to do now.
That would be cool. I definitely I remember
I would watch that.
I remember helping with that. I always thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
As far as myself, I've been messing around more with my blog. Not that it's particularly crazy content, but I just posted something today about Gundam Age and how it's not the worst thing, but it's also not great. So pretty much common knowledge, but it gives me a chance to be like, hey, the second arc's the best part, everything else is awful.
Yeah, it really was, actually. You know what? Now that I look back on it, it wasn't that bad.
Really, I mean, comparative to like G-Reco, everything's good.
Yeah.
But I am starting a new series on there that I'm sure people will get salty about, and I'm excited for that. And I've titled it, You Know What's Better Than Sword Art Online, and then it's an anime that is underrated that I think is better. And I've got that coming up on Thursday for a show called C Control. Fuck, I can't remember what the subtitle is. It's stupid and long, but it's pretty good. I want to eventually get back into doing some stop motion. I've got some cool ideas. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
That's good.
But yeah, so I guess we have gotten through our talking list. We've gotten some extra talking points that were really interesting.
Telling you guys, look up Courtney Act. Oh my god.
We should like do another live stream like next season when they revealed more like prototypes and all that. That way we can react to whatever they reveal or provide to us, and then we can give our points on like the SH figure arts that they revealed, or the metal build figures that they're gonna reveal, whatever Tamashii Nation provide us.
Isn't there a convention coming up?
The only thing I've learned is that SH Figure Arts is like doing a North America tour. That's why they're revealing these 3 event exclusive figures so far. Other than that, I haven't seen any like toy shows that's coming up.
Toy Fair's not Toy Fair. Isn't Comic-Con New York or something like that going to happen?
I'm not too sure.
No, sorry, San Diego's coming up. Yeah, that comes up in July.
Oh, in July. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be mostly SH Figure Arts if it's SDCC.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's like a Tamashii event that happens in Japan, that's when they reveal all of their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once that's ongoing, we can like talk about it on the live stream again.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Also, at the end of this, we're aiming to do this hopefully once a month, fingers crossed, unless a big event happens. So for those of you who have made it through the full 2.5 hours of this, you know when this is happening.
Oh, I had one question.
Yep.
Cody, did you notice like one of our videos reached like 5,000 views?
Yeah, it was, I think
It was really
hold
weird.
on. Let me actually go back, because I saw it the other day, and I was like, why do people keep watching this one? Now, I wasn't mad or anything, I was just super confused. I think, like, our reaction to the end of Gundam Age.
Yeah.
I was like, are people that curious? Let me see. Yeah, I was super, like, excited about it, but I was just so confused.
Well, another interesting that since you guys are talking about like series, is that there's always that big debate that Iron-Blooded Orphans that did it have a good ending or a bad ending. People seem to debate on that.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't watched the series yet.
I enjoyed it.
Give it a
I thought it
gander,
was really good.
We can make that.
I liked how Iron-Blooded Orphans wasn't your stereotypical Gundam show where it actually stayed out from the norm that Gundam shows provided us.
I did notice that. Yeah, it didn't copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
super different. And
yeah, it's not like, it's about these 5 dudes who have Gundams and, they're going to beat the shit out of everyone. It's different. And then boy gets girl. It's different. It's super different. That's why every twist that they added on the show was very unpredictable. In my case, that's how I saw it. So I would recommend. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Gundam 00, but I feel like I enjoyed Iron-Blooded Orphans more.
yeah, it's definitely something, if you ever get around to watching it, Patrick, that we should really like do a discussion, because it's one of the better Gundam shows I think that have come out recently.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that it has a lot of stiff competition, but
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll check it out.
All right.
Well, we will see you guys next month sometime. We'll live stream again. I think that's a pretty good way, and it makes it a lot easier for recording, because I don't have to record anything. YouTube will just DVR that shit for me. And then I don't think I'm going to put the audio up anywhere as of yet. There's a whole hosting thing I'm going to have to go through if I decide to. But, yeah, we did it. Return of the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you guys for having me here.
oh, absolutely. We are glad that it ended up not just being the return of me and Patrick again.
Yeah. No, there would have been a lot more ranting and
Oh
swearing.
yeah, we would have had a much longer discussion on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah. Again, this is like the first time I've done it in a while. So, maybe next episode.
Yeah, I think it's been like 2 years since we've done the podcast, if not longer.
Well, I think if we're gonna do this sometime next month, we're gonna. I guess we'll have our own talking points. That way, we'll have a variety of like stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we'll over the next month throw a bunch of shit in a Google Doc and we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Cast bigger.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We do appreciate it. Be sure to go ahead and check out Hey It's Kai on YouTube and join the Robot Damashii Collectors Club, or Collectors
Community.
There we go. I was close. Over on the Facebooks, and check out Hey It's Kai for all his interesting, really good customs, especially the heavy arms. Just I cannot get over it. It's so cool. It's so good looking. Don't forget to check out Patrick1969 on YouTube as well. And of course, check me out on YouTube at Thespicer, or on Instagram at Thespicer Reviews, or Thespicer Reviews. You're going to get me somewhere. But like I said, we'll be back next month. I really do appreciate it, guys, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And I got to stop the stream.